Ahead on DC News Now at 4, could the government shutdown end tonight? The House returns to Capitol Hill for the first time in weeks. Team coverage next. A windy and warm Wednesday. Meteorologist Damon Madsen tells us when the winds calm down.
This little alligator found living in Maryland has a brand new home. We're getting up close and personal with Gatorade at the Catoctin Wildlife Preserve.
And honoring our police officers in Montgomery County, how their hard work is being rewarded.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
And thank you for joining us for DC News Now at 4. I'm Mark Hall.
And good afternoon. I'm Annalisa Gale. Well, an end to the longest government shutdown in history now in sight. The House is back in session today for the first time in 54 days. And a vote on stopgap spending bill, which could fund the government through January 30th, is scheduled for tonight.
We are getting close, and we have team coverage tonight. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg is following the ongoing impacts to SNAP. But first, DC News Now's Marielle Carbone is live on Capitol Hill with the latest on tonight's vote. Marielle, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mark and Annalisa. We know the House officially gavelled back into session at noon today before going on recess until that vote later tonight. Now, House Speaker Mike Johnson says he is confident that this spending plan will pass, but House Democrats, they are returning angry and upset, blaming the 8 Senate Democrats who sided with Republicans, and those House members believe they caved on a compromise that just isn't good enough. So in this continuing resolution passed by the Senate this week, it funds the government through January 30th. It also funds select programs like SNAP through next fiscal year, restores fired federal workers to their jobs, and provides back pay to furloughed federal workers. But on the matter of health care, which is what this shutdown was really all about, it promises a vote on extending health care subsidies under the Affordable Care Act, but it does not guarantee an extension, which is why House Democrats are saying today they will vote no tonight.
I think this deal is a raw deal for the American people. Not only does it not fix health care for millions of Americans, but essentially it green lights the corrupt administration that has been withholding food assistance for 42 million Americans.
Oh, I'm absolutely voting yes. What we're doing is voting to open the government back up, and then once that's opened back up, as the Speaker has said, as the leader in the Senate has said, we're going to have a conversation on how to make health care more affordable.
Now, this afternoon, House Democrats, they introduced legislation that would extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for 3 years. It's unclear if there's enough bipartisan support to get that voted on. The vote today, it's scheduled for 7 p.m., but it could happen later, and it does need enough votes to pass. The House only was able to pass its last spending bill by small margins, so every vote really does matter. If it passes, it goes to the president to be signed into law, and we know Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said yesterday, if and when that happens, he expects the air traffic controllers in particular to get a partial lump sum payment for all of the pay they've missed over the last few weeks, which within about 48 hours of the government reopening. Reporting live from Capitol Hill, I'm Marielle Carbone, DC News Now.
Marielle, thanks so much. And for continuing coverage of the resources and to see how local officials are responding to all this, you can head to our website, dcnewsnow.com, for more on this shutdown.
All right, let's head over to meteorologist Damon Madsen with a first look at our forecast. And Annalisa, Damon, my question to you both, what a difference a day makes. Not nearly as windy as it was on Tuesday.
Yeah, definitely a pleasant day, Damon.
I mean, Annalisa, I brought this up earlier. I got to say it again because we asked Mark what he thought about the change-up, and he goes, "Are you kidding me? Like, this is so much better." And that is the kind of reaction that, yeah, this rebound in our temperatures can bring. And after we had our coldest day since early February of this year on Tuesday, when temperatures didn't get out of the 40s, how about this? We are in the upper 50s and lower 60s. DC, we're sitting at 62 degrees. Crazy to think think about how cold it was just yesterday as we have snapped back sort of to reality, if you will. These temperatures we have today are a lot more typical for mid-November, and there is that change up 15 to 20 degrees warmer than this time on Tuesday. So we're thankful we got that boost in temperature. Now, it has still been windy as we've gone throughout the day today, and the winds are part of the reason why we warmed up. They were coming out of the south and west, gusting to around 30 miles an hour. We can expect things to stay breezy, and the winds will back off a bit as we head into the night, but all in all, their effect is still noticed as we will stay decently comfortable, but we will gradually turn chilly as we head into the overnight hours with a mix of clear sky and cloud cover. Now, can we keep these warmer temperatures around as we head toward the end of the week, and will the wind finally start to let up? We'll have a full look at your forecast coming up here in just a bit.
All right, Damon, thank you. Well, police in Charles County have now arrested a man who they say assaulted a woman and child twice in 24 hours. Police were called to a home on Drake Court near the St. Charles Town Center in Waldorf. Officials say Bowman had punched the woman in her face and bit her hand. After the initial arrest, he was released by a district court commissioner under the condition that they say he did not repeat the same crime. And hours later, police were called again to the same home where they say they found Bowman and the same woman covered in blood while holding a toddler. Both have been treated. Bowman is now facing assault and child abuse charges. He's now being held without bond. All right, turning now to a story you'll see only here on DC News Now. An alligator found in Prince George's County now has a new home. This comes after the alligator's owner died, and its family surrendered the 4.5-foot gator to Maryland Natural Resources Police last month.
An alligator. All right, well, the alligator has found a friendly new home alongside more than a dozen others at a wildlife preserve in Frederick County. DC News Now's Randy Bassey joins us live in Thurmont, Maryland this afternoon. Randy, what's the latest?
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. This alligator, now lovingly named Gatorade, is living here in style. He is getting lots of TLC after his big move up north here to Catoctin Wildlife Preserve in Frederick County. And while he is still waiting to join his fellow big gators in the bayou, they are gearing up for a big job for this new gator. He may be small, but he's already making a big impact here at the Catoctin Wildlife Preserve in Thurmont.
So this is Gatorade. Gatorade came to us from DNR. He was actually a surrender because his owner had passed and his people were not able to really take care of him. So DNR had actually brought him here. He actually did have a dog collar on and everything like that.
Mary Fallon is a veterinary technician helping Gatorade get acclimated to his new surroundings after Maryland Department of Natural Resources police took him from a home in Prince George's County at the end of last month.
There's a cute little 4-year-old girl that actually kissed Gatorade right on the nose, right as they were taking him, so he was definitely very well loved.
Well loved and super laid back. Fallon says the 4.5-foot American alligator is calm, cool, and collected, and likely between 4 and 5 years old. And once he's out of quarantine, she says Gatorade will make a great ambassador for more than a dozen other alligators at the preserve to help teach children and adults about the species.
We were really able to, show the kids, exactly what the gators do when they close their eyes with their third eyelid, and then he'll actually close the nostrils as well, so we can show that very well. And obviously right now he's very easy to pet and love on.
For now, Gatorade is settling into his new digs and getting medical care before he takes on his new role.
He is actually quite amazing. We absolutely cannot wait for him to start in our education program.
He really is quite a special animal, you guys, and he is still in quarantine for the next couple of months as he gets acclimated to his new surroundings here. But do not worry, they are planning to put Gatorade on display alongside the rest of his fellow alligators here at Catoctin Wildlife Preserve later on this coming spring. In Thurmont, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
All right, Randy, thank you. New today, community leaders in D.C. celebrated the new Fort Totten-Tacoma segment of the Metropolitan Branch Trail. Now, that segment will connect the pedestrian and bike network from Union Station to Silver Spring, and leaders say it closes a gap between the two places.
With our most recent budget, we are on track to add 10 more miles of protected bike lanes each year. And over the next 6 years, we'll build more than 17 miles across the district.
D.C. has over 120 miles of bike lanes and 43 are protected.
Well, an update this afternoon. 6 puppies found inside of a shoebox taped shut over the weekend on a walking trail in Fauquier County have now been reunited with their mom. We first told you about this yesterday on DC News Now. Well, the sheriff's office telling us today that with the help of our coverage, they were able to coordinate that reunion. They say they are still trying to figure out who left them there.